Okay, welcome back to the next task within our BurpSuite TryHackme um, module lesson plans. So, if you've been following along with me for the last 10 episodes, for God's sakes, I'm so happy that you guys are still here. Also, I just wanted to go ahead and thank everybody that actually does watch. It really does mean a lot to me. I like when you like, comment, and subscribe. I also like when you comment more so than anything else. I know I'm doing better and better and better. So today we are still on the same BurpSuite browser using the uh, IP address that we use on the machine. So if you haven't done that just yet, go ahead and start up your start machine and as well as your attack box. And while you guys let that load, I'm going to go ahead and go over what BurpSuite Browser is. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading for you guys, so bear with me. In the previous tasks seemed overly compact. If the previous tasks seemed overly complex, rest assured this topic will be a lot simpler. In addition to modifying our regular web browser to work with proxy, BurpSuite also includes its built-in Chromium browser that is also pre-configured to use proxy without any modifications we just had to do. To start the BurpSuite browser, we simply open the browser. So as you will see, we're just moving that away. We don't need you right now. We are going to put you to bed as well. Right, clear up our sessions. And we go to browser, and then there's simply a tab right here that says open browser. This connects to its own version variation of your OS does not support browser running in the sandbox is enabled. You can allow BurpSuite browser to run with its sandbox by going to settings, Burps browser. So let's try to do this. So settings, Burp browser, allow. Okay. Settings, Burp browser, Burps browser, and allow. What was it now? Allow what? Browser data. Okay. Manage global settings. I completely forgot what I was supposed to be looking for. Let's see if it's identified here. There are many settings related to browser and the project options. Make sure to explore and customize them as needed. However, if you're running BurpSuite on Linux as root user, in this case with the exact box, you may encounter an error preventing the Burp browser from starting due to the inability to create in a sandbox. There are two simple solutions for this. The smart option, which is create a new user and run Burp under a low privilege account and to allow the Burps browser to run without issues. Or the easy option is go to settings, tools, Burp browser, allow settings, tools, Burp browser, and check the allow Burp browser to run without a sandbox option. I did not see that there, but maybe I missed it. Allow, right there. Allow BurpSuite to run without browser settings. And we go through, and I don't know if there's nope, there's nothing we have to do. We click on that, we close this, and let's give that a whirly gig. Open the browser. Come on, browser. Interesting. Oh, there you are. Okay. So it does. Okay, and see, it opens up the port switcher, which is the makers of BurpSuite, and it allows it to just basically do exactly what we did with Mozilla and Firefox without actually having to configure a Foxy proxy to Firefox. But I would just recommend you doing it the other way since it's just kind of the way it's done, I suppose. Click me to provide the next task. So we are just going to run a website real quick. We're just going to go to the one we've been using, which was 10.67.113.137. I know what I did. Don't fault me on any of this. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Let's go. And this. All right. we are going to go to the website. And the same thing should be happening within this website as it did on Mozilla. But it is, as you can see, capturing all the information that we would normally capture in Mozilla and or another Firefox browser. It has all the same settings. We are going to close the interceptor and you go to HTTP history. All of that information that was being transmitted through was going and being captured by BurpSuite. We can see the same thing we went through in the last one. We have all the information on the target host, the scope, and the user. The user issue definitions. All the vulnerabilities that would be listed in the sequence. So, since we were able to do that relatively quickly, we are going to continue on. So 11 and 12 are going to be on to the same deal. Scoping and targeting. Now, target we went through just a little bit. We went through it with the sitemap, the issue definitions, and the site scope settings, but we're going to be going into it a little bit more in depth. So finally comes to one of the most important aspects of using BurpSuite, scoping. Capturing and logging all traffic can quickly become overwhelming and inconvenient, especially when we only want to focus on specific web applications. This is where scoping comes in. By setting the scope for the project, we can define what gets proxied and logged in BurpSuite. We can restrict BurpSuite to targeting only specific web applications we want to test. The easiest way to do this is by switching to the Target tab, right-clicking on the target from the list of the list, and say Add to Scope. So, Target tab, Scope, right-clicking. Okay, we are just going to see here, say Add to Scope. Is that right? Include in scope. All right, we are pause that real quick, just because I want to kind of just go with what they're doing. Target sitemap. Oh, so I'm sorry, I apologize for that. You're going to cancel this, go to sitemap, and add to scope. All right, you've added an item to the target scope. Do you want BurpSuite to stop sending out of scope items in the history or other BurpSuites? Answering yes or no, it will be answering that. So let's see before we do that. Add to scope. BurpSuite will then prompt you to choose whichever scope you want to use by logging anything not in the scope. In most cases, you want to select yes. So we will do that. And there you go. That's exactly what this is telling us to do. And we do tack yes and move on. So to check our scope, we can switch to the scope setting to the sub-tab of the target. So we come over here. And here is our assets in the scope. So the scope setting allows us to control the target scope by including or excluding domains and IPs. This section is powerful and worth spending some time getting familiar with. However, if we are disabling logging and out of scope traffic, the proxy will still intercept everything. To prevent this, we need to go to the proxy settings sub-tab and select end URL in its in target scope from intercepting client requests. So settings, we go to the proxy and we go to the up and down. So let's do this in sequence. All right, we go back to settings. All right, we go to the proxy and then what was it? Right click? Nope. Right click here. Oh, right click where? Right click what? All right, we're down here. Request intercept rules. So request intercept rules. These are rules which control which are stalled viewing, etc., etc. Go through and read that, and we're going to click end URL in its target scope. So end URL in its target scope. All right, plain easy peasy, no problems there. And its response rules. Request and response. We're going to do both on the same, and we are moving right along. WebSocket interception rules, etc., etc. WebSockets are extremely important, and I recommend you guys getting very familiar, at least reading up for what WebSockets are. So enabling this object ensures the proxy completely ignores any traffic that is within the defined scope, resulting in cleaner traffic in BurpSuite. So there is absolutely no information that we're actually going to need here, but let's see, add to your scope and change the proxy settings to only intercept and in scope. So coming up here, and you're going there, all right. We don't need this asset one, so we're going to actually get rid of that because we're not going to. I don't want to deal with this. We're going to add this to scope, and we go to settings and make sure that the information that is coming and going is correct. Right, add URL in scope, and the same thing is going to be happening right there. We're going to confirm that the proxy is grabbing that information. So we're going to close this guy down. We're coming back to scope, and we can see that this is here. Now that it's not checked, it is not say it's still there, but it's not enabled, right? So include from scope, and let's see, just want to exclude from. Add to only proxy to only intercept traffic in scope targets. Scope targets, yeah. So that's it. We move on. So the next two, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video right now. And once again, we're just going to start the next three, next two, which are going to be 13 and 14. And as always, like I said earlier, if you like what you're seeing, like, comment, subscribe. Always like, always comment, more so than anything else. Once again, I like to know how I'm doing, and I'll catch you in the next one.